All right. So yeah, let's start off. Nika King,
Yes.
Euphoria, Greenleaf, doing your thing out here. Groundlands alumni. I'm happy to see all the stuff that you are doing here in Hollywood, that you have been doing it. And thanks for taking the time to talk to us about the season that's going on now, Euphoria season 2.
Yes.
So my first question, I'm gonna start off like, how does it just feel to be in a second season of a project that you're working on and have that continued character development and story building as an actor?
Well, as you know, we've been on a long hiatus because of the pandemic. And so I'm so excited for people to see what we've been working on for the last 8 months. And it's been a journey, but I think it's well worth it. I mean, the first episode premiered last Sunday, and people were like over the moon. Our viewers doubled. People were excited that Nate got his butt beat. So, you know, we're going along each week, and each week is going to get more intense.
Yeah. You know, I was not that guy rooting for Nate to get. I was like, keep it going, keep it going. You want to root for that guy because as much as you want him to get beat, you're like, you know what? He got a sense of like hubris. You know, like I can't get caught. You know, right. But you see throughout, you know, at least from that first episode is very intense. Obviously, we're trying to see where it's going to go, and they definitely showed a lot for you. You know, if anything, the first episode of any comeback show, you know, season 2, season 3, it's got to be like, gotta get you hooked. You know, so that way, if a new audience comes in, they're like, oh, okay.
What is this about? Right.
And this is a minute now. So what are we getting from your character this season? Are we going to see more of you?
Season 2 is definitely more of Leslie. It's a little peek into her childhood. I don't have a full episode, but hey, there's always season 3. Fingers crossed for Leslie to explore more into why she's the way she is, a little bit of her upbringing. But in regards to season 2, we see her kind of double down on Rue and really make some hard decisions in regards to keeping her family together and keeping Rue clean or not clean. We don't know. We don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah. How is that dynamic with you and Zendaya and Storm? Because I know that we're all a little bit older than Zendaya and Storm, but in reality, we're like all kind of like in the same peer group. So how is that relationship off screen with your on-screen children that are more like the homies, you know?
The homies, right. I think the great thing about being a Black actress in Hollywood, we kind of have an understanding of the business. We understand the culture. We understand the dynamic of just being an artist in Hollywood. So I'm very like, you know, down to earth. And so my conversations with them is just like an aunt off screen. You know, I want to know with Stormy, like, okay, are you like in college? How is USC? How are the people treating you? You know, so we have those conversations. And when it comes down to Z, very playful, very jokingly, like our relationship is very like kid-like, you know, it's almost to the point where I'm like, okay, we gotta fight in a minute. So I can't be joking with you right now. I gotta get in the moment, you know? And so, we have great chemistry, as you know, on camera and off camera. It's like a family, like it truly is.
Is it a different feeling now coming back, having since season 1, she's won an Emmy. Not just any Emmy, the second Emmy for a Black actress in a drama, you know, series, you know, and so she, you know, the show has won Emmys, the show has won accolades. So it's gotten a bigger, the beef has gotten bigger in terms of what this show is. And obviously I mentioned, you know, it had good numbers coming back on season 1. So, and even though you probably shot all the episodes, was it a different feeling coming back now that everybody knows mostly about the show as opposed to like, when you first did the show, you don't know where it was going to go.
Right. I don't think it's a different feeling as much as it is a more feeling of like, we want the fans to really like see what's going to happen. Like it's so much happening, and to get that instant reaction with social media and Twitter and Instagram. So for me, it's a different feeling because I'm like, I know what's coming, and I want the fans, I want to see the fans' reactions and just see how they respond to each character, character's journey, their reactions to certain things. So it's a slight difference because we know I know what's coming, and because we already we watched most of the season. So it's kind of like every Sunday, like sitting on edge, like, oh, y'all ready for this?
Tell me about your decision to move to LA. I know you went to University of Florida. We're all SEC on Vanderbilt. Georgia just won the championship, SEC.
No.
He's Cornell up there. He's Cornell over there. He don't know nothing about the SEC. But you studied theater at Florida, and you decided to come all the way across the country to LA. Like, what was that decision like? What was that moment like? Like how bold were you at that point? How were you living right at that moment?
Well, really, truly, my goal was to move to New York and be on Broadway because I equated a theater degree with Broadway, right? I didn't really think about a theater degree in terms of TV and film. So when I graduated college, I actually went to New York and stayed in Newark, New Jersey. Don't live in Newark, New Jersey. Maybe it's changed, I don't know, but at the time it was a very industrial, worn down. It was not good. Let's just say that. So that didn't help me with staying in New York. But I stayed for about 2 months, and then I'm like, this is not my cup of tea. And so I moved back home to Miami, and then I moved to LA because I'm like, you know what, LA is more like Miami, palm trees, the weather. And so I've been in LA for almost 19 years to be exact. So it was a good decision. I had to pivot for a minute, but I'm glad I ended up in LA.
That's a joy. But and then once you got to LA, and obviously you're able to get work, and one from the other, and it's not easy for an actress to get work. Mm-hmm. And then nowadays it's a matter of whether or not you're on a streaming channel or a weekly channel. And when you did Greenleaf, obviously it's a weekly show, so it gives time for an audience to get to know who you are as a character and as an actress, because they get to see you weekly. Mm-hmm. When you're on a streaming show, and all the episodes are airing once, mm-hmm. It's like, if you don't grab that audience by week 3, forget it. Mm-hmm. So how was it for you going out there and landing work and then still continuing once Greenleaf was over?
Well, Greenleaf is just a small part of my filmography. Like I've done a lot of TV, and it's always been like guest star, co-star. I've done Two Broke Girls. Most of my resume is comedy. And so, because that is my background. I studied at Groundlings, like Jamal mentioned. And so I moved out here to be a comedian, to be on a sketch show, preferably Saturday Night Live, and Live in Color when it did come back the second time. So I've always been like grinding, like doing all kind of TV. So the idea of being on every week, of course, that's ideal for an actor. You want people to get to know you, and in my eyes, be a household name. So it was just constantly grinding. It didn't, it never got easy. It's still not easy. It's still a grind. It's still work. It's still coming to the table and showing people like, hey, this is my talent. This is what I have to offer. And so and that's what I love about the industry. It's difficult, but I like a challenge. So
being that you had that SNL, that you have that SNL dream, and I'm hoping one day that pops off. But you're in this drama right now, and you look in it online, you see in social media people that haven't been Groundlings trained or anything else popping off all these viral comic skits. Do you want to get in? I know you contractually you can't just do anything you you want at the moment on social media just pop off. But do you like see these people do a skits and like, do you want to get into that arena of like people being able to tell these like little, just show their little.
I'm a creative person. I'm a content creator. So I don't negate, I don't like not do those things because I can't. I just find things that are very specific to my brand. And so if it's something that I want to do, I can do it. You know, I write my own material. I do stand up as well. I just directed my first short film called For Sale. So I'm always doing something. So if I want to do something, if I want to go viral, I could go viral. No.
Viral already.
And look, if only it was that easy, huh? If I want to go viral, I can go viral. That's nothing. Like whatever. No.
Euphoria doubling its audience is viral enough.
Right.
Like,
and you know, the great thing is, you know, people are now like, I'm literally watching my social media grow. Like every day, every week, I get more followers, and people are going to get to know me, my personality. And so, of course, the things that I put out are going to only highlight the talents that I have. So I'm not, you know, if I want to do, and I will do viral content, I have no issue with that at all.
And going back to the show, and obviously I'm talking about episode 1 and how much was it on Fez. Mm-hmm. You know, you're watching it from the beginning, you're like, okay, where's this going? You know, as an actor and also a fan of your own show, when you're reading these scripts, do you have that moment where you're like, oh, we're going there? You know, especially like, you never know. And the best thing about the show is like, you don't know how it's going to end. Right. You know, you look forward, right. You know, every episode is like, uh-oh. You know, right. So are you also a fan of the show as opposed to it being a job?
Yes, I am a fan. And I think we read 3 or 4 scripts like 2 days before the pandemic happened, because we were actually getting ready to film, and then everything of course shut down. But literally at the table read, it was a 3-hour table read, and everybody is like, our mouth is just open, and we're just like, okay, we need all the episodes, but Sam only kind of gave us, I think, the first 3 or 4. And then the pandemic happened, then we had to wait a whole 2 years. And so to get the whole, 8 episodes. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Euphoria and I'm a fan of Sam Levinson, the writer and creator and director. He just goes there, and his mind is just so, he's like a math. I call him a mad scientist, because you really don't know what he's going to write and how it's going to be at the end. Like when you see the visual, it's so beautiful, because Marcel, the DP, he's just next level with it. So in combination with the storytelling and the DP and the acting, it's just like, it's like the perfect conglomerate of chaos and beauty and drama and trauma and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. What's going to back that up is, when you're playing a mom to 2 teenagers, and obviously Rue's character is very complex, hence the show. What did you do to get insight as to how to play that role with these teenagers? Because obviously there's yet to come scenes where you're going to be interacting with both of them, and to see like, okay, what did you do to draw more insight?
So I have 14 nieces and nephews.
14, wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of them, and half are like preteen teenagers. And so I'm able to have conversations with them. I've experienced their behaviors. I get the phone calls from their parents. And of course, they're not nowhere near Rue and her addiction, but it's still the same kind of mannerisms, right? Like Gen Z and millennials, they have a certain way of interacting with people who are older than them. And so I have conversations with them. I also use my own experiences where I would say most of my family were addicts and dealing with the disease of addiction. So it wasn't too far. God don't take you too far from the truth, so it was just in reversal, but I was able to still use those feelings of like helplessness and distraught and kind of, internalize that for Leslie and make her a character where you feel for her, but at the same time, you're rooting for the Bennett family to be whole and to be well. And unfortunately, Rue has other plans. So, you know, I think the Bennett family is a great representation of any family that's dealt with addiction and anxiety and depression and loss.
Can you tell me a little bit about the casting process? Because I mean, we think about the Black moms on TV, and we think about the Loretta Devines and the Jennifer Lewis, and you're not in that mode of. I mean, you vibrant. I mean, you at the club, people try to holler. You know what I'm saying, right now. So I'm like, how did you approach the casting process of like, I'm casting as a mom for some kid, or did you cast for this particular role? Like, can you just talk about that a little bit?
Of course. So the casting process was your traditional audition. You get your sides, you go in, and because I didn't know who was playing Rue. It was just me being a mother of a young person who is addicted to drugs. I didn't wear any makeup. I was very homely, as they say. You know, I put the 2 braids in my hair. That's how my mom wore her hair. Growing up, that's the only thing my mom ever did to her hair. She worked at the post office. She had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. My mom was 2 braids, pinned them 2 little pins in the back, boom, and ready to go. So I basically, you know, created that style, that hairstyle to kind of give me some type of maternal look. And when I auditioned, you know, I only auditioned the first round. I didn't go to producer session or callback. I was cast off that first tape. And then Zendaya and I did a chemistry read, and the rest is history. And I think for me, even though I may not be the traditional Black mom, as you say, you know,
Huxtable. Huh?
Huxtable. Well, I find myself like in the middle, like Claire Huxtable and like Loretta Devine, like, you know, and of course there are some personality traits of Black mothers that a lot of fans, they'll say you're not like the traditional Black mom. You're not the stereotypical Black mom. And I'm happy to see that the fans are seeing that, right? Because my whole idea of creating Leslie is that, you know, my mom is like, girl, she's getting over on you. You know, like you walking around with blinders on, like you stupid. You know, like you. And so it's funny to hear that from my mom, but then also understanding that Leslie does have a level of empathy, right, for her daughter. And probably at the same time, she just is probably tired and she doesn't want to every time interact with Rue. It's a big fight. So I think she chooses her battles, and that may come off as weakness, but I think it's her way of creating some normalcy for herself and a little self-care.
You know, when you're an actor and you do a show, there's that level of like, okay, I can't always talk about the show, but with this show, you know, I'm sure you've gotten texts from colleagues and friends and maybe anonymous people like, what's going to happen this episode? You know, what's going to happen in that episode? You know, how hard is it to maintain a level of secrecy in which you just can't reveal what's coming up?
It ain't hard. I'll be like, I can't tell you. I'm like, look, I got to keep my job. Like, I like watch Sunday at 9 p.m. on HBO and HBO Max. That's all I got to tell you. No, but no, some of my friends are like, when are we gonna see you? What episode are you in? You know, so I think I get more of those texts and DMs because people.
Can you even say that? Can you even tell us what episodes you're gonna be in?
Yeah, so I'm in episode 2, 3, 4, 5, but my big episode is 5. Okay. So I am scattered in there for the next couple episodes, and you'll see you know, Leslie doing her thing. But you know, the great thing is I'm just blessed to be a part of such an amazing show, and believe me, even if because let's just be honest, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Leslie was only supposed to be in 1 episode. She was only supposed to be a supporting character. And as time went on, when we were filming season 1, they were watching the dailies, and then they start writing more for my characters. So I'm just blessed. You know, I'm happy to keep my talent going and working during these difficult times. So yeah, so you guys just got to tune in, man. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I ask you what I gotta ask you about BlackTree Cafe, and I'm gonna let Wilson end it off after that. But tell me about this business venture you got, because BlackTree and BlackTree, it seems like we need to be in business together.
Yes, I was actually looking at your logo and I saw your tree, and it did spark that thought of like the tree, right? It is my mom's business. I am a co-owner. BlackTree Cafe. We are located in like Fort Lauderdale area, and we pivoted once again. The pandemic was all about pivoting, right? So we were initially a brick and mortar, and now we're going to be what the industry calls a cloud kitchen. So there'll be multiple virtual dining concepts under one roof, and we're geared towards more plant-based and vegan, vegetarian food options, especially in that community, which is underserved, predominantly Black people who are not given the access to healthy food. So my mom and I were just every day, I just had a call with her earlier about construction, and yeah, we're just hoping that this, you know, this venture will be something for the community to expand, right? And to learn about wellness and health and mental health, right? Tying back into Euphoria, you know, mental health is definitely a big theme. And my whole thing was, I have a platform now. What is it that I want to highlight? And for me, it's always about wellness and mental health. And we find that through nutrition, ultimately, that's the beginning point.
And you know, and I was gonna piggyback off that. Obviously, you know, when you're not doing the show, I was gonna ask, what are you doing? But like when you're not doing the show, and you're not doing this part, you know, but we're home now. You know, obviously a lot of events have been postponed for this month and the early parts of February. You know, so we're all home. We're all trying to see what's there to watch, because at some point it's 8 o'clock. There's not much work you can do.
Right.
What other shows are you watching?
So I'm watching Ozark. I'm very excited for the new season, January 21st. So yes, I like documentaries. Black and Missing, I just finished that. I watched True Story with Kevin Hart. I auditioned for one of the roles, so I really just watched to see who got the part. But,
Which role?
No, I'm not. She was good. She was good. She did her thing. But no, I'm joking. Listen. When I see Black folks working, I'm just like, yes, I love to see it. No hating. Like, I am truly like respectful of other people and their journey. So yeah. So that's what I'm watching. And then I write. I write a lot. You know, I still have a monthly show that I do at the Improv, which is tomorrow. I have a show tomorrow. So yeah, I'm always busy. I mean, I know there's
Improv out here.
Huh?
Out here in LA.
Yeah, you should come, Jamal. Tomorrow. Yeah, I put you on the guest list. I got you, boo.
All right.
So yeah, I'm always. I don't like to be. I don't like to be too stagnant. I like to always be moving and being productive.
It's great. You know, obviously, like I said, Euphoria is the next step up. Is, you know, look for it down the road, get that dress ready for the SAG down the road. Other events, you know, can't stutter. I was always like, yo, she wore that thing.
Yes. No, honey, I am ready for whatever happens after Euphoria. I understand that that's just, you know, that's the jump off point. So, you know, it's nothing but up from here. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's good. We'll all be supporting you every step of the way. Glad that you took the time. It means a lot. It means a whole lot to us. Trust me that when we can reach out and get that direct connect and love from the actors and be able to show the love that we want to do, even if there's hurdles in the way that we couldn't get to you before. So
where there's a will, there's a way.
We'll make it happen. That's what you got to do. As long as there's visibility, people can Google your name, like, oh, that's the mom. What does she do? Boom, there's that video, and they'll read about you and they'll see about you.
Thank you guys for having me on. This is amazing. I got to support my Black folks, so you know how I do it.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for the time. I'm gonna send you the video. Listen. All right.
All right. Take care.
All right.